Hey guys, welcome back to Barry's Corner. It's Emily here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys all the books that I read in April. So, April was a pretty stressful month for me. I'm still stressed. My exams are next week. Please pray for me. I honestly did not expect to read a lot this month, and guess what? I read 9 books this month, which is even better than the previous month where I wasn't that stressed. And I'm so excited to show you these books. If I didn't do that 24-hour readathon, which will be in the description box below, during spring break, I would have never read this many books this month. So I'm very, very excited to show you all these books. But before we begin, please subscribe, please comment down below, like this video. All of my social links are down in the description box below, as well as my Amazon wishlist if you would like to gift me a book. Now let's get on into the video. The first 3 books that I want to show you, I don't physically have with me because I got them from the library, and I also read them for a video called I Read Uncarly's Favorite Books, so please go check that out. I won't be going too in-depth on these books because I worked really, really hard on that video, and I do want you guys to go watch it, so that will be in the description box below. But the first book that I read for that video was Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. This follows 2 best friends, and they're in their early 20s, and they have a little entanglement with a married couple, an older married couple. The main character was pretty unlikable, and I gave this book a 3.75 out of 5 stars. I did not like the first part as much as the second part, but once I got to the second part, ooh, oh my gosh, it was good. So 3.75 stars was my rating. I really recommend it if you are looking to get into Sally Rooney. However, I heard Normal People was better, but I haven't read Normal People. The second book that I read, though, was The White Book by Hong Kong. This is a translated work from Korean, and it's basically the exploration of the color white and how it corresponds with grief. And the inspiration for the novel was the author's older sister dying just hours old in her mother's arms, and how that affected her in her life and how she views things. I loved this book so freaking much. 5 out of 5 stars, so freaking good. If you're looking to get into translated works, this book, mwah, chef's kiss, so freaking good. I'm telling you right now, out of all these books, truly pick up this one. It was really good. But the last book I read for that video was Memorial by Brian Washington. This follows 2 male love interest. They're in a relationship, but they're wondering why they're in a relationship still. So Mike, who is Japanese American, gets a call from his estranged father in Japan, and he's like, yo, I'm dying. So he flies to Japan to get to know his father and has a life-altering journey. And then his boyfriend back at home, Ben, also is having this life-altering journey, and then they come back together and see how they still fit. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Unlike Conversations with Friends, I like the first part better than the second part, but I really, really did enjoy it. I don't think it's my favorite book of all time, but then again, go check that video for more thoughts on these 3 books. Now, starting with the 24-hour readathon, I read The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Guys, oh my freaking goodness, I love this book so freaking much. This was my summer reading, I think going into freshman or sophomore year of high school, don't remember which one. Never read it. I thought it was too dense, too big, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna like it. I don't know. I do not like school-related reading. How did I not read this sooner? This was a buddy read between me, my uncle, and my aunt, and we all absolutely adored this book. If you don't know what this book is about, it's a historical fiction about World War II, and it's told in the perspective of death. Okay, that just sounds so freaking good right there. But he's telling this little girl named Liesel's story, and she is kind of like an orphan, and her foster parents are housing a Jew during World War II. That rhymed. And then she's also stealing books, hence the book thief, from Nazi burnings where they burned all of Jewish items. And it's just so good. It's so good. It's so good. Guys, Death being the narrator, just... who allowed Marcus Zusak to do that? It was so freaking good. Death, I thought was going to be annoying, old. He was so funny, but in the most respectful way, in the best way possible. Liesel, just the amount of heartbreak and pain that she has to go through, just 14 years old. Was that grammatically correct? Just at 14 years old? Anyways, was horrible, was crazy, and the friendships that she made along the way. I cried in this book. Go check out my 24-hour readathon. You will see me crying. And it wasn't even over the death, because yes, there's a lot of death in this book, but the part that I cried out was just so heartwarming, heartfelt, loved it so freaking much. If you have put off The Book Thief just as long as I have, please pick it up. It's so incredibly good. Another book that I forgot that I don't physically have with me, The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. I got this book from my literature class, so I returned it. And I read it for my 24-hour readathon. And I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. If you don't know what it is about this family in, I think, like 19 something, don't know. The American economy was very, very much down. They are living in this apartment and they are all feeling very, very trapped. The mother wants the best for her kids, but they do not want what she wants for them. The daughter is feeling very self-conscious, doesn't have any confidence at all, and the son just wants to escape that house. But he is the one that is the breadwinner, the one that gets the money, and he feels like he's trapped because he doesn't want to abandon them. It is so freaking good. The reason I gave it a 4 out of 5 instead of a 5 out of 5 is because it's a play. It was very, very short, and I feel like plays aren't really meant to be read, they're meant to be performed, and I feel like I would have liked it a lot better if it was performed instead of read. It was really, really good. If you haven't read Tennessee Williams, yeah, I said that right. I don't know why that paused in my head. Please go read it. I really, really enjoyed this book. The next book that I read was The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This book had a lot of mixed emotions surrounding it, and I was a bit scared to get to it, but this follows a girl named Shay Goldstein, and she's a producer at a Seattle public radio station. But their views have been going down recently, and so Shay comes up with the idea where they will bring exes onto the show to speak about relationship advice, or give relationship advice. And everybody likes the idea, however, they don't have the budget to do so. And so her boss is like, yo, you and this guy that you absolutely hate will pretend to be exes. And they both agree, they go on the show, but she's afraid that this lie will come out and ruin her career. But also, a little romance goes on, so it's kind of like an annoyance to love, hate to love romance. We kind of love that aspect. I gave this book a 3.5 stars. Not that it was horrible, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite. The main character, let's talk about her. Annoying. Not that we didn't hate her. I found her relatable in the beginning. I liked her. She was cool. She was fine. She was fresh. But oh my gosh, her miscommunication skills, how she doubted everything. Like, dude, just ask maybe sometimes. I felt like Rachel Lynn Solomon was trying to give her little quirks, and we were like, stop doing that. We don't know, that adds something to the story that we do not want. We do not like. We do not need. The male love interest, on the other hand, Dominic. Oh my gosh, guys, where her miscommunication was lacking. Wait, no, that didn't make any sense. Where her communication was lacking, his wasn't at all. Like, if he did miscommunicate, like, he realized it and then fixed it, and you were like, yes, oh my gosh, he carried this relationship. Their banter was so cute. I'm not gonna lie. I love their banter. I did enjoy the relationship. The book as a whole, I don't know. I do like the topics addressed. I did like the diversity, the main love interest. I cannot speak today. Dominic is Asian. We love that. We love to see it. But just as a whole, like, it was fine, kind of cheesy, but it was good. It was entertaining, and I do recommend this, but don't go in expecting like the hating game. I don't know. It was okay. I really can't talk today, guys. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. But the next book I read was Smash It by Francina Simone. This book disappointed me. I'm not gonna lie. This follows a girl named Olivia James, and she's done with letting insecurities get the best of her, so she creates an F it list, which is 1, be bold, do the things that scare her, 2, learn to take a compliment, and 3, stand out instead of stand back. And so following this F it list basically means also giving into what her heart desires. So she pursues 3 different relationships, and 2 of those boys are her best friends. Okay. I understand where she was coming from. But the 3 different relationships, no. Did not, it wasn't fleshed out properly. In the beginning, she was mentioning how she felt 2 different things for both of her best friends. And I was like, why are we doing that? Like, I got confused with the 2 different names, and I was like, can we just pause? You're saying you like this guy, but you like this other guy, and I'm so confused. And I was just, I don't know. I just wish she fleshed it out a bit more and it made sense. One thing that she really did well was the diversity. Loved that. Loved the topics addressed. But one other thing that I really didn't enjoy about this book is that it read very, very young. This is a YA book. However, all of the talk was about sex. And I was like, okay, I mean, that's fine, but just like, it's reading so young. It just didn't make any sense. I give this book a 2. I think I gave it a 2.5, but honestly, 2 stars. Didn't enjoy it. Probably going to be giving this to my used bookstore, not gonna lie. But yeah, didn't enjoy this book. The second to last book that I read this month was Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds, but the graphic novel edition. I have already read this book before, the regular verse edition, which I absolutely adore. But this book, guys, the illustrations are like everything. They're so beautiful. It adds another beautiful layer onto an already beautiful novel. And I truly, truly enjoyed this book. It was a quick read during a 24-hour readathon, and if you don't know what this book is about, it's about a guy named Will and his brother Sean has been shot dead. And in their neighborhood, there is 3 rules. 1, don't cry, 2, don't snitch, and 3, always get revenge. So he grabs his brother's gun, his dead brother's gun, and goes down an elevator to go get revenge. And on each level, somebody from his past comes on and kind of weighs on his decision if like what he's doing is right and what he's doing is correct. This book, guys, it was so freaking good. It's definitely a African-American novel that you need on your shelves. It's just so, it gives you so much insight and so much perspective, and I loved the story. It just makes you feel everything. I do think I prefer the regular novel over this one because instead of actual pictures, they have descriptions of like what he's doing and how he's feeling. And there's so many metaphors that I just love. It's so good that we just don't get in this. But however, we do get the illustrations. So I have both of them. I love both of them. I did give this book a 4 stars. Was missing something that the first book had, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I truly recommend this book to anybody. And if you are more into graphic novels, pick this up. It's still really, really good. Now, the last book I read, I actually finished last night, is Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is the second book in the Brown Sisters companion novel series, trilogy. This follows Dani Brown, which is the sister of Chloe Brown. Everybody said that I would like this book better than Chloe Brown. I did. I gave this book a 4 stars, Chloe Brown a 3 stars. And this follows, again, Dani, and she knows what she wants. She wants professional success. She throws herself into her career, and that means that she does not want a relationship at all. But also for many other different reasons that you will find out in the book. But then there's this guy named Zafir, who is her friend at work, and they both work at a college. He's a security guard, she is a teacher, and one day during a fire drill, he saves her, and a picture surfaces on social media, and this hashtag goes around, and it brings a lot of publicity for Zaf's charity, nonprofit charity, and he's like, hey, maybe we should keep this going, milk it a little bit, so they start fake dating, but Dani kind of just wants friends with benefits, and Zaf is like, this girl's my forever, I love her so much, blah, 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 blah. And let's see how that goes. I enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 stars, as I said, but I didn't fully like everything about this book. Going into this book, when I started reading it, I was like, wow, this reads like a Wattpad novel. I was just like, no. I don't think Talia Hibbert's writing always meshes with me. In Chloe Brown, I felt like everything was so bland, and in this one I felt like she was trying too hard to be quirky, and I was like, stop, I don't like that. It read like a Wattpad novel, and after a while I did get accustomed to Dani and her quirks that Talia Hibbert writes, but it was just, I don't know, for a little bit I just wasn't into it. Zaf, on the other hand, oh my gosh, I loved him so much. Hold on, there's a garage going off. The garage has now stopped going off. Zafir. Oh my goodness. I know a lot of people who like toxic relationships and blah, 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 but I really am a sucker for a guy being fully for the main love interest, like the female love interest. It just gets me every time. I think that's because that's how I want my relationship to be. And he was just so for her. No, he was willing to wait for her, do everything that he could for her, even though he had his own problems and his own feelings. It was just, I love him. I love him so much. Their banter was very, very cute. I did think that their connection was definitely there. I did enjoy it. But the book as a whole, I mean, it was good. It was okay. I'm really waiting for Eve Brown because everybody says that that's the best. So 3, 4, and I'm hoping to give Eve a 5. I do recommend this book. I did enjoy it. It was a little bit quirky, but guess what? The diversity. Moi, chef's kiss. We loved it. The diversity was just everything in this novel. I did enjoy it, and those were all the books that I read. Let me see if I can get them in, what is it, April? I keep wanting to say May. April. I was very stressed this month, but I did get a lot of reading done. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry I couldn't speak well, but please subscribe, comment down below, do whatever you want to do, and goodbye.